Alright guys, welcome back to Gilded Gaming and Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. Yesterday we finally finished the prologue after, let's look, almost 12 hours of playtime. What? Hey, we finally got a third party member too, in the form of Sherazard, which honestly, I don't know why I wasn't even thinking about her, but that's gonna be a good party member. Yeah, so I guess let's see what happens for chapter 1. At the end of the prologue, we discovered that our father's airship had gone down and it was missing or something. I'm guessing we're going to go off looking for him. And it looks like everything's pointing us towards the Bose region. So here we go. Estelle, are you in there? Joshua? Dinner's ready. Just to let you know, we'll be having roasted basil chicken and onion soup gratin. That sounds so good. I'll come down later, so why don't you two go on ahead and eat? Alright. Well, make sure you come down before the food gets cold. The Wheel of Fortune card. Again. Something really is going on. I just can't see what it is. Where's Estelle? I said to go on and eat without her. She didn't seem to have an appetite. I see. She took the news a lot better than I thought she would. It's not surprising she doesn't want to come out of her room, seeing as how close she is with her father. I agree. So, what do you think about all this, Shara? Is it an accident or an incident? To be honest, I couldn't say either way. Your dad is a top-class bracer when it comes to crisis management. He's the best there is. Whichever it is, if your father happens to be there, it'll be resolved. But the fact is, an airliner along with your father has gone missing. In other words, what you're trying to say is that things that shouldn't have happened, right? Don't lose heart on me now. You need to be a stout wall of support and bear Estelle up. I'll get to work tomorrow and see what I can find out. Man, it sure smells good down here. I can't stand it any longer. What? Estelle, are you okay? I'm so hungry, I thought I was going to pass out. Well, this looks good. Bon appetit. Aren't you two having any? This is great. The basil flavor really comes out when you roast it. You sure know how to cook, Joshua. Well, thanks. Come on, Shara, don't you just sit there too? Do you want to drink some of Daddy's brandy from his secret stash? I'm pretty sure there's a bottle of Steinrose that's about 20 years old in there. Did you say Steinrose and 20 years old too? Shara, what do you think you're doing? Sorry, Estelle. I'm going to have to pass this time. Either way, what were you doing up in your room? You didn't come down even after Joshua called you for supper. Huh? Oh, right. I was just looking for some extra underwear. I was having a bit of trouble finding one of my favorites because it was stuffed in the back of one of the drawers. What? Underwear? Was she packing? Yeah. Oh, and a set of gear for traveling. I mean, who knows how long we'll be gone, so I figure as long as we're prepared, we'll have nothing to worry about. So what you're saying is you intend to head to the Bose and find your father. Well, duh, that's a no-brainer. And while I can't imagine anything bad happened to him despite his horrible luck, waiting around just doesn't suit me, so I'm going to go check things out myself. You really are something else. Whether it's your positive attitude or thick skin, I can't say, but... What? You're so rude, Joshua. But are you coming along too? Well, you're coming along too, right? Of course. However, it looks like all the airliner flights have been canceled until the army finishes their search. It seems the only way to Bose is on foot. Well, walk to Bose, huh? I wonder how long that's going to take. For a bracer on foot, if they hurry, they can make it there in about half a day. But if that's the route you're taking, that makes things easy. I think I'll tag along as well. Really? You'll come with us? But aren't you busy with a bunch of other jobs? Hey, I trained under your father, right? Did you honestly think I'd just sit here when something could have happened to the person I owe so much to? I'm going to talk to Ina and have her pass my jobs at the guild to another member. Shara. We really appreciate this, Shara. You really shouldn't be thanking me. I just can't leave a job as big as this up to the bunch of newbies. I hate to say it, but you're probably right. Oh well, since Shara's coming along for the ride now, I do feel a bit more confident. We appreciate you coming with us. Myself as well. Anyways, let's make sure to drop by the guild tomorrow morning before we leave. I'll need to explain the situation to Ina. Alright, Disappearance of the Lind, Chapter 1. Alright. Roland Bracer Guild. I understand the situation now. To be frank though, with Scheherazade taking off after Cassius, I'm going to be really short-handed. But since this involves him directly, please don't worry about anything. I really appreciate this, Ina. Make good use of Ridge while we're gone. He should be able to deal with at least 3 times his normal workload. Don't you think that's a bit harsh? Don't worry, if things get too hectic, I'll ask for help from the Grancel branch. By the way, Scheherazade, can I get a minute? I'd like to talk with you about the job you were going to do. Sure, no problem. Estelle, Joshua, can I have you two wait upstairs? I'll be done in a minute. Understood. Shara? If we're going to be waiting, would you mind if we did it in front of the clock tower? I'd like to say hi to someone. Oh, yeah, that's alright. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, let's meet up in front of the clock tower. As soon as I'm done here, I'll head over there myself. Got it. Come on, Joshua. Sure. Septian Calendar 1075, erected in partnership with the Liberal Royal Family Septian Church in Roland City. Septian Calendar 1192, destroyed during the 100 Days War when Roland was bombarded by the Erebonian Imperial Army. Septian Calendar 1197, rebuilt with the cooperation of the citizens of Roland. Every time I see this clock tower, I always think, they sure did a superb job restoring it after the war. You can sure feel the spirit of Roland's people from this. Estelle? Joshua, what do you think about going up with me and waiting until Shara shows up? You mean the clock tower? Sure, I don't mind. Okay, come on. The morning air is so refreshing. Hey look, Joshua, we can see the houses from here. Or the house from here. You're right, I can see the roof. But do you want to tell me what's going on since you're always avoiding coming up here? I was under the impression that you didn't like this place. I like this place, but I just can't casually come up here. Because this is the place where my mom died. What? Oh, jeez. 10 years ago during the war, when the Imperial Army surrounded Roland, they bombarded the symbol of the city, the clock tower, to try and get the citizens to surrender. This was at the time Dad was fighting in the Royal Army. I wanted to see who he was fighting against, so I climbed up the clock tower. And when the bombardment started, I couldn't get away. Oh God. When I came to, I had hardly a scratch on me. My mother had saved me. I was wrapped tightly in her arms, shielded from the rubble. And as I cried, she sang my favorite lullaby. But when they finally dug us free, after the war ended, and this place had been rebuilt, I avoided coming here for the most part. It's not because I have painful memories of this place, though. It's just when I come here, a part of me wants so much to draw on her strength. Plus, I've felt that I can't be as strong like her. I'm always trying to rely on her. Estelle. But today is okay, right? Relying on her just this once. Asking her to bring Dad home safely. Asking her to protect him. Of course it is. And don't worry, Dad's safe for sure. Your mother's protecting him, so there's no doubt in my mind that he's safe. And if it happens to be a bit of trouble, then you can come to his rescue. Just like your mother did for you. You can do the same for your dad. And don't forget, I'm here to help you too. Joshua, I know I can't completely understand everything you've been through, but I can stay here by your side as I am now. If you need a shoulder to cry on, you've always got mine, so... Huh? Joshua, you're trying too hard. You shouldn't say things like that so lightly. What do you mean? If I were any other girl, I would totally have misinterpreted your intentions just now. You are seriously the type who's going to have problems with romantic relationships in the future. I'm already starting to get worried. Well, excuse me for trying to be nice. Why do you have to be like that when someone is so genuinely worried about you? Thanks for cheering me up, Joshua. I feel a lot better now. Guess as long as I got some kind of thanks, it's worth looking like a complete fool. But you are unbelievable. Don't be so mad. I'm really thankful, believe it or not. So how about we get down from here, huh? I'm sure Cher is waiting for us. Probably right. God, that is like a horrible way for her mom to have died. Like, she saved her life, but then, like, she was like, what, stuck in the rubble with her mom as she died, singing to her? Mom, I finally realized why I wanted to become a bracer. It's so I could become strong and protect others just like you. But please watch and see. I won't fail to bring Dad home safe again. Oh, the two of you had such a cute scene going on up there. Why, my cheeks even feel a bit hot just thinking about it. What's that supposed to mean? You were spying on us? Give me some credit, will you? I just happened to see you when I looked up to check on the time. I'm sure wish I had an orbital camera to get a shot of that view. Come on. What are you trying to say, Shara? That's called family bonding, plain and simple. It's kind of like your habit of hugging everyone after your third bottle of wine. Let's not get into that. What's with the sigh? You really don't know how to take a joke, do you? Oh, whatever. Did you say hi to Lena while you were up there? Yeah. I even asked for her to watch over Dad. I see. Then I guess it looks like you're all set. You know, Lena's protection is equal to that of the goddess herself. Your dad's safety is pretty much guaranteed. I think you may be giving her a little too much credit. Now that you mention it, you met Estelle's mother before, right, Shara? Yeah, when I was a child. I was still in a troupe at the time. A troupe? Yeah, a troupe is a traveling circus. Shara was a dancer. Although it was a long time ago before we met when she first came to roll in with the circus. 12 years ago to be exact. I was 11 and Estelle was 4. And because of that chance encounter, when I became a bracer, I trained under your father. I didn't know that. Well, maybe I'll tell you about it sometime when I get a chance. Are you ready to head for Bosa? Bose? I don't know how you pronounce it. With airliner flights canceled, we'll just have to make our way to Bosa the old-fashioned way by foot. First, we'll need to make our way to the Vert Bridge checkpoint, which sits at the border of the Bosa region. The Vert Bridge is located at the west end of the Milch Main Road. Looks like we're all set, so let's go. All right. Man, I don't usually get, like, emotional about stories or movies or anything. But my mom died a couple years ago, and that was really hard to read. I was going to start crying. All right. Letter carrier. Father Divine wants us to deliver a letter. Looking for someone to deliver a personal letter to a colleague of mine in Bose. Come to the chapel. Might as well do that while we're here. Lately, my father-in-law has been giving me job advice. Coming from an industry veteran, there's a lot I can learn. It seems I've been pretty conceited over my work in the past. Feel pretty embarrassed about it now. Oh, do we have enough to open up another slot? Probably not. Only 57 red and 39 green. I think, like, we have, like, what, one slot? Let's look. We got one slot left on Estelle. We just need 80 of each. Joshua is completely open now. Sherazard has 2 slots left. We need 200 on her. Not bad, though. Let's stop by the chapel. Well, good morning, everyone. Are you going on a journey somewhere? Yeah, just over to Bose. Is that so? And in that case, could I ask a favor of you? I'd wanted to send Father Holstein a letter, but the airliners are grounded. So how about it? Can I get you to deliver this letter while you're there in Bose? Sure, we'll do it. It shouldn't be a problem since the letter's not that big to begin with. I really appreciate this. All right then, here you are. So all we need to do is give this letter to Father Holstein in Bose, right? Yep. Yes, his chapel is in the east side of the Bose city, so it should be fairly easy to locate. Traveling around other regions and broadening your knowledge is food for the mind. I pray that the goddess will guide you on your journey. All right. That seems like a pretty easy quest to complete. It's the last quest here. We have to leave to do it, so I guess we're heading out. Check the store, make sure they don't have any new equipment. I doubt they do. Nothing new. I think we're good to go. And how big is Rolent actually? Okay, let's get outside and look at a map, maybe. So that map. Let's look at. So like, to walk from Rolent to Bose is like half a day's walk by foot. So you can walk all the way across the kingdom in like a day. This has got to be a small kingdom, right? Like really small. Just wondering what the scope of this kingdom actually is supposed to be. We don't have enough CP to... I was just thinking if we pass by the palm, should we try and attack it? But I don't think we have a much chance of beating one right now. Well, if it isn't Estelle and Joshua too. Hello, Mr. Ashton. And this is Scheherazade, if I remember correctly, right? Good afternoon, sir. We'd like to cross over into the Bose region, so we were wondering about getting a pass. Let me guess, this has something to do with the Lynn, doesn't it? Yeah. Estelle explains that Cassius was aboard the missing airliner. Goodness, Cassius was aboard? This is major. I'll issue a pass right away. Hey, Shadow Konako, how's it going, man? 8 pass. Thank you, sir. But is it alright if you issue us a pass just like this? What are you talking about? I know you kids by face. And as a member of the Royal Army, I should do my best to cooperate with the Bracer Guild. Oh, but one other thing. Huh? Be careful if you have any errands at the Hawking Gate north of here. You might want to hide your identities as bracers there. What do you mean? I'm sorry, but I can't say any more about the matter. But if you do intend to investigate the incident, please do so with discretion. I pray to Idios for Cassius' safe return. Ooh, they don't like bracers over there, huh? Okay. Hello there, are you headed to Bose? We are, but how did you know we weren't just visiting again? Well, a number of people like yourselves have been passing through lately, exponentially more than usual. Is it because the flights have been suspended in the airspace over Bose? That's exactly what's happened. You wouldn't believe how busy this place is because of it. Well, the Royal Army is responsible for all the restricted flights, so you're really not in a position to complain. Yeah, I guess you're right about that. Oh, and another thing, traffic through this checkpoint is also being regulated. If you want to go through here, you have to get a pass from the Chief Warrant Officer next door. Oh, well, we already got one. Well, aren't you guys prepared? Okay, then how about I open the gate for you? The soldier opened the gate by remote control. Spiffy. All right, you're clear to go on through. Once you cross over, you won't be able to come back unless you get a pass from the other side. Be aware of that before you cross. Got it. Since joining the army, this is the first time I've ever been so busy in my life. I guess it's no time to be fishing or reading books. I just bought this book, but I guess I'll give it to you. The chief would be livid if he caught me with this. Carnelia, Chapter 2. The train station. Hello there, Toby. You've come just the right time. Greeting me with these words, Mitch shuffled slightly in his seat behind the counter. The baked confection he had been eating was ever so carefully placed atop his lap to prevent it from falling onto the floor. He smacked both of the powdered sugar-covered hands together with a clap. A cloud of white particles puffed in the air. The smell of sweet spices and baked apple pervaded the dimly lit shop. We had an item dropped off no more than a few minutes ago, he continued. Turning in his seat, Mitch reached back and snatched up something wrapped in old magazine paper off the shelf, tossing it to me, knowing full well I wouldn't get any sort of answer. I asked anyway. What do we have this time? Laying out my railway and airship tickets, Mitch ignored the question and said, make sure this gets to the same place as always. In his slow drawl, he added, it would be in your best interest to keep your involvement to a minimum by leaving the business side of things to me and focusing solely on getting the job done, Toby. He leaned back in his chair and let out a deep sigh, the balls of his fingers kneading the bags under his eyes. Then, once again, his large hand extended down toward the unattended cake resting on his leg. Before the sweet treat could reach his watering mouth, I had already made my way out the door of his tiny shop. As I walked, the waste paper bundled package bounced here and around inside the folds of my bag. By the feel of its shape and weight, as it beat steadily against my side, I concluded that the object in my possession was probably just more swag. It didn't make me nervous not to know what it was I was carrying, for I had done this type of job many times before, and no matter what kind of trouble I found myself wrapped up in, I always somehow managed to come out unscathed. In truth, my experience on the job had made me tough, and I had become well versed in the art of orbital magic. So it was that when I laid my eyes on that rough-looking trio at the station, I felt no more knots of uneasiness in the pit of my stomach than was necessary for someone of my abilities. The platform for the train bound for Libero was a bustle with passengers awaiting its eventual arrival. Seeing that the benches were so crammed full of people that they could have very well been a tin of packed sardines, I resigned myself to standing near the entrance. As I patiently waited for the train to come in, twisting my body in order to move the bag to my other shoulder, I noticed the figures of two men. Heads bent together and conversing in an inaudible tone, they stood just beyond the ticket gate, right about where the horse head of the imperial emblem lay embedded in the ground in a grand mosaic of titles. After a short interim, another man approached and joined in the conversation. From my own perspective, this one was ragtag. This was one ragtag group I most certainly couldn't have given a passing grade to based on looks. All three were extremely well built and sported the same haircut. To put it mildly, they stuck out in the crowd like a bunch of sore thumbs. Making sure to avoid eye contact with them as they glanced in my direction, I slung my bag back onto my shoulder and ever so calmly reached my hand into my pocket and ran the tips of my fingers across the surface of my orbment. A woman's voice reverberated within the walls of the station, notifying the passengers that the train had arrived. A low rumble on an orbital engine could be felt in the distance, and after a few moments, a large vehicle was seen rolling up on the shoulder. I muttered to myself, all is well, but the sound of my voice was drowned out by the din of the massive machine. Brakes screeched and a flash of black light reflected off the surface of the giant iron beast as it came sliding into the cross of rails. The immense vibration in the air emanated from the moving locomotive as its epicenter let me know that the orbital engine had been put into full reverse in order to decelerate and bring the train to a grinding halt. While being shoved to and fro by the waves of impatient travelers flooding out of the waiting area, I was swept towards one door of a passenger car. As we passed by the conductor, I caught another glimpse of the ticket gate. The men who were once there were now gone, and the only thing that remained was a profile of a horse made of glossy tiles, glaring back at me in the shade of deep crimson. Where this story's going. All right. Before we head through here, I want to go back to town real quick. I know it's like, but you were about to leave. I was just thinking, we actually sold chapter 1 of that book, and I feel like I want to see if I can buy it back. We needed money at the time, but now we have like infinite money because of the whole recipe shenanigans. And also, I wanted to make sure I got all the recipes while I was here. So first... Liberal News issue 2. Let's grab that. We don't have another copy of issue 1. We give that to our dad. Looks like they don't sell the book here. I wonder if I made a mistake by selling that. Maybe we can get it again later. Gone without a trace. Where could it be? Yesterday afternoon, the airliner Lind vanished over the Beauce airspace while en route to Relent. It was on its way back. An exhaustive overnight search conducted by the Royal Army yielded no clues as to its whereabouts, leaving all parties baffled. In response to this incident, the Army has declared all airliner flights canceled until further notice. Fate of Lind passengers unknown. The Liberal Orbital Ship Corporation reports that 17 were aboard the Lind at the time of its departure, including both passengers and crew. Family members of these missing persons are understandably concerned but remain hopeful. Probability of accident is low, says expert. Central Factory Chief Murdoch proclaims, our orbital engines are sturdy and reliable. The chance of an engine failure is virtually nil. I do not believe an accident to have occurred. Rumors and theories abound. Was it a conspiracy perpetrated by the Royal Army and a covert mercenary force comprised of jaggers? Perhaps it was just a plot to kidnap the passengers and hold them for ransom. Some have even suggested the Lind came under attack by the last living ancient dragon. No matter what anyone may have heard, it's just speculation at this point, and no real evidence has been found yet. The Royal Army is investigating a possible connection between this incident and the recent burglaries in Beauce, but thus far, no information on any such connection has been released. In fact, no information has been released at all due to Army regulations prohibiting the dissemination of intelligence to the general public as a policy. I'm sure we'd all like to see it repealed. Society. Crystal stolen and daring robbery. A group of unknown individuals recently broke into the Roland Mayor's house to steal a septium crystal that was left in his possession. Local bracers came to the rescue and managed to recover the stolen item, but the culprits are still at large. Thankfully, no harm came to the mayor or his family during the incident. We deeply regret that the criminals escaped, says the Roland Bracer representative. But please know that we of the Bracer Guild did everything in our power to apprehend them and will continue the pursuit for however long it will take. Culture. Exploring ancient sites. The Roland region and Esmolus Tower. The Esmolus Tower lies a few hundred selge to the north of Roland City, along the Malga Trail. Its turquoise green visage is the only real landmark for as far as the eye can see. Counting as one of the 4 tetracyclic towers, its purpose is still shrouded in mystery to this day. This exciting location is as old as Liberal itself, and modern research utilizing the latest orbital technology is expected to answer a few questions about this eerie structure, while still posing others. All right. I'm glad we came back for the news article, at least. Oh, food. Did we buy all the food here? Is the wholesome pasta, French fries, flowery soda, Carmine eye, milk crepe. Let's see. We don't have like any of that. Find the recipe? Here's KO, we're going to hold on to that. Here's blindness, move +1, strength +5. Heals 200. Heals 250 and cures poison. Well, we'll save them, we'll learn them later when we need to heal. Alright. Yeah, glad we came back for the food too. So, let's move on. Like they say we need to get another pass to come back, so I don't know when we'll be able to get back here. Here we go. Private Antos. Hi, are you headed to Beauce? We are currently in a state of emergency. We are looking for any suspicious individuals among those heading from Bose to Relent. Warrant Officer Dine. What do we have here this time? Bracers? Traveling the roads on foot is a bit of a hassle, isn't it? Well, be careful out there. Heal up here. Okay. East Bose Highway. So we have Bose and the Neville Valley off to the side, huh? Possibly some new enemies along this route. We have a new city. Into chapter 1, right? Alright, well, there's the way to the Neville Valley. Let's go to Bose first. Oop, new enemy? What is that thing? Mad Roper. Slightly weak to red and green, huh? Was it air and fire? The tentacle monster that wafts through the air divides after being wounded. Ooh, one of those. Both of them have a little bit of health left. Yeah, they both have 31. I wonder if my initial hit dropped it to 31 or 62. What's that headed this way? What's that headed this way? Well, if it isn't Sherazard, how have you been? Fine, I haven't seen you in a while either. What are you up to? As you can see, I'm doing an escort job. I'm sure you've heard about the airliners being grounded after the Lind incident, right? Because of that, we've had to move all this cargo to the Royal City by ground transportation. I see, well, your efforts are appreciated. So, how about yourself? What are you doing with all these youngsters? Don't tell me you're looking into the incident. That was the plan. Why? Do you know something we should be aware of? Well, I think it would be best if you spoke with Lugren about that at the Bose branch. Anyway, I've got to get going. Catch you later. Interesting. First Mr. Ashton and now him. Everyone hints at something, but no one will just come out and say it. I wonder what's up. Well, there must be a good reason for it, and we'll probably find our answers in the Bose branch. Agreed. If we do as he suggests, ask Lugren about it, we may just get a clue as to what's going on. Anyway, let's get moving. Run along. Probably keep an eye out for new types of monsters and chests, yeah. Let's see, new enemy. Monster inhabiting woodlands, hunts with poisonous fangs, may call for backup. Weak to water. Oh, poisoned her. Does that stay after combat?
We're good to go.
It seemed like it does it. Monster inhabiting hard bedrock, massive claws, boasting incredible strength.
Oh, are we done already?
Eisen Road. I would say North Block. We finally made it there. This is the commercial city of Bose, which sits in the heart of the Bose region. Wow, this definitely looks like a city. Of the 5 major cities in Liberal, this one comes next after the Royal City. Compared to Rolent, the buildings are made of stone and seem a lot bigger. Does anyone have any idea what that huge building over there is? That's the Bose Market. It's an indoor marketplace made of various shops. Food, clothing, sundry goods, furniture, books, and so on. You can pretty much buy everything here with the exception of weapons and ordnance. That's not surprising that they call this place the commercial city. Man, I really wish this trip could have been for shopping. Maybe some other time. Let's first stop by the guild and find out what's going on regarding the incident. Alright. Just so you know, the Bracers Guild is just right over there. Okay. The church, Bracer Guild, shops, and lodging. Okay. Restaurant. Go in the Bracer Guild first. Oh, Sherazard, you arrived a lot sooner than I expected. I appreciate you coming all the way from Rolent. It's been a while, hasn't it, Lugren? Did someone tell you that we were coming ahead of time? Yes, I received a call from Ina not long ago. So that means the 2 kids with you are Cassius's children? Yes, that's right. It's nice to meet you, sir. I'm Estelle Bright. And I'm Joshua Bright. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Lugren, and I oversee the Bose branch. Your father and I go way back. Please, just call me Lugren. Well, sure, we'll do that. That said, could you give us a quick update on the missing airliner incident? Yes, about that. The Royal Army is still continuing its search. However, with the Army's current restriction on information, no public updates of the situation have been made. And not only has the general public been kept in the dark, but the guild hasn't really heard a word either. Really? Why not? Aren't the Army and the guild supposed to be cooperating together? Well, that's the way it is on the surface anyway, but in actuality, there's a lot of opposition between both parties on a number of aspects. And pretty much what you're saying is that there's a bunch of jurisdictional disputes, right? I hate to admit it, but that's the situation. In addition, General Morgan has gotten involved. Did you just say General Morgan? Great, now it really does look like things are going to be a pain. General Morgan, who's that? He's famous for repelling the Imperial Army invasion 10 years ago. You should have read about him in the history books. Amazingly enough, I don't recall the name. So what's the big deal with this famous guy anyway? From what I've heard, he's not the biggest fan of the Bracer Guild. Hates Bracers, in fact. It seems he even makes a point to routinely assert that there's no need for a Bracer Guild. Sounds like a real whack job to me. So what you're saying is that we're not getting any information because of this general. That's not really important at the moment. What really matters is the Bracers are being prohibited from entering the regions they are investigating. And because of that, it's causing conflicts with our other work. But we came all the way here from Rolent. If that's what's going to be, then it's time to it's time to duel it out with this general who decided to get involved to decide who gets to investigate the incident. You're talking like a crazy person, Estelle. Keep your cool, Bracer. There are other ways, such as the request we just received from the mayor concerning the incident. She's asked that we conduct an investigation from the guild side, separate from the army. Well, that's encouraging news. If it's an official request from the mayor, it would be a great pretext for us to conduct our own investigation. I see. Well, isn't this perfect timing? Lugren will accept the mayor's request. Sounds fine by me. But before you go, you two are junior bracers, right? Yeah, why? Junior bracers, so to speak, are members in training registered at various branches. In short, their performance is monitored by the branch where they're currently registered. And right now, for you two, that would be Rolent. Oh, so what you're trying to say is that we have to change our registration if we want to accept jobs here, right? You got it. Here, all you need to do is sign on these forms and transfer your registration. Sure. Our names go here, and Estelle and Joshua fill out the registration transfer forms. Alright, looks like everything is in order. Junior Bracers Estelle and Joshua, as of this day at 15:20, your registration at the Bose branch has been approved. This means that you are now members of the Bose branch. So you know, once you become a senior bracer, you can do any job without being registered to a particular branch. But on the flip side, your duties and responsibilities increase as well. Understood. So pretty much we're still newbies. Well, it looks like now I'll be able to entrust you with the mayor's request. The mayor's residence is near the west gate, so you should go there and talk to her directly. We'll do that. Understood. I'll leave the mayor request up to you then. The mayor's residence is the west gate of town. You can find it just by asking around. We got 3 new quests here too. Avenue Monster. Long-term medium difficulty. A ferocious monster has been sighted along the trail behind Avenue Village. It must be sought out and exterminated. ASAP. Elder Ryzen. Gwen. Difficulty low. Long-term. Ingredient seeker. I'm in a bit of a bind right now. I seem to be lacking a certain cooking ingredient I regularly use for practice. Please bring Tender Poultry 5 to me, Gwen, in Anti-Roast Restaurant. Bracer Guild. A ferocious monster known as a king scorpion has been spotted roving the East Rose Highway. Bracers from this branch are requested to deal with this threat immediately. Okay. Okay, well. Made to Bose. I guess the next thing is going to be to explore. But it's already 9 o'clock. We went a little longer with World of Warcraft than I intended to do. I think we're going to stop here for tonight and get a little bit of Tactics Ogre in. I hope you enjoyed Trails in the Sky. If you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. We will pick this up tomorrow and start exploring this new town. Thanks for watching. I'll be right back.